I will disclose to you the secret to self-control in today's Message for Monday, a useful message for teens in 4 minutes or less. Willpower is a great skill. Am I right? If you have the ability to stare a Krispy Kreme donut in the face and not eat it because you're on a diet, that's true strength. Well, at least that's how the world puts it. Self-control is the thing that we should be after. Without it, there's no way for us to stop our bad habits. But James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, disagrees. He says the idea that just a little bit of discipline would solve all of our problems is kind of incorrect. He says that truly disciplined people aren't really wired differently than anyone else. They are just really good at structuring their lives in a way that does not require a heroic level of willpower and self-control. In other words, they spend less time in tempting situations. He gives the examples of soldiers who were fighting in Vietnam. 20% of soldiers who were stationed there were addicted to heroin. That's a really addicting drug, a hard one to kick. But after they returned home, more than 85% of them never used it again. Just completely eliminated that addiction overnight. That's crazy, especially considering that typical heroin addicts, when they get checked into rehab, they do a good job at kicking their habit while they're in rehab, but when they go back home, over 90% of them go back to using heroin. Why is this? Are soldiers just stronger? More disciplined? Possess increased levels of willpower? No, it's just all about environment. You see, the soldiers, while they were in Vietnam, were surrounded by cues that triggered their desire for drug use like every day. It was easy to access, they were around other soldiers who were using it, they were thousands of miles away from home, and the constant stress of possibly dying in battle probably added to their triggers. But when they went home, none of those things were there. But typical drug users who get checked into rehab, they leave that environment, go to rehab where none of those cues and triggers are there, but then they go back home to the same neighborhood, same house, same friend circle, where all of their cues and triggers live. So why is James Clear talking about drugs? Because if Vietnam drug addicts can beat their heroin addiction by changing their environment, then you can beat your YouTube addiction by changing yours. So what's the secret to self-control? Make your bad habits invisible. James Clear says, I've never seen someone consistently stick to positive habits in a negative environment. So the practical way to reduce a bad habit is to reduce your exposure to the cues that cause it. If you're having a hard time getting your schoolwork done because of your phone, leave your phone in a different room for a few hours. If you constantly feel like you're not enough, then stop following social media accounts that make you feel envious or jealous. Or, just stop using social media altogether. If you are playing too many video games, then unplug the console when you're done and store it in your closet in between uses. This week is all about reversing that first law of behavior change. Rather than making good habits obvious, we're going to make bad habits invisible. Self-control is a short-term strategy, not a long-term one. So your challenge this week is thusly: pick a bad habit that you want to reduce or stop entirely. Then change something in your life or home that make the cues and triggers for that bad habit invisible. I hope you found that video helpful. If you were in Sidekick to Hero, my gamified mindset training program for teens, you would have received experience points and coins for watching it. Plus have access to a bunch of videos and courses to help you become the confident, goal-crushing hero the world so desperately needs right now. If that sounds like your kind of thing, go grab a parent and go over to sidekicktohero.com and start your free trial today. Or, just keep watching my videos here on YouTube and get 0 experience points and coins. It's up to you, really.